Oh, come on, Roger. It's going to be a long one, Roger. It's a very, very, very heavy script tonight.
I need a drink.
From the Men in Blazers studios in the crap part of Midtown West, Hell's Kitchen, what would we call this? Or in other words, live from Terminal 5 in New York City on what Google rather poetically calls the western fringe of Hell's Kitchen, apparently. It's a night of nights ahead of a Copa das Copas. It's an honor and a joy to welcome all here in the theater, watching across America on Twitch.
You're not watching it on Twitch if you just screamed out there. You're here in person.
Opening show of our 2022 Men in Blazers Live, this Cups for You World Tour.
Oh, we sit here, but 5 sleeps away from the World Cup, that glorious bar mitzvah that's soccer-themed, to which the whole world is invited. Got 3 things to say. Come on, you US boys. Come on, you baby Eagles. Go, go, USA!
A talented group of babies, Roger. And what a joy it is to be kicking it off here with all of you in the city in which our suboptimal Men in Blazers media network began with just a single podcast ahead of World Cup 2010. Just 50 blocks downtown from us tonight in the crap part of Soho.
In the words of Drake, started from the bottom. Now we 50 blocks a little bit further uptown. But what a magical way to kick off this tour in the greatest city on earth, not named Liverpool.
And we are not alone, Roger. We are joined by all of the GFOPs who are currently out there watching this live on Twitch.
Twitch.
Where it is being streamed. Roger, we're getting already people watching on Twitch sending us messages, and through the power of iPad and my Hublot watch, I can read all of these. Shep9378, down Hublot. Has anyone checked to see how many guys have to get hurt before Greg calls up Rog to the squad?
I've actually worked that out mathematically. I think the answer's 3. It's Pepe, Zach Stefan, Rog, Peacock. In that order, Davo.
Yeah. Likes Bacon says Roger's probably on his first 12th bud by now.
We'll reveal that in a minute when we do the toast. God bless to all of you who are joining us on Twitch. We are honored to partner with them for this entire tour. And we are so grateful to head across this nation on tour to make memories through this World Cup. I'm just bloody excited to meet Ozzie Smith in St. Louis. I want to tell him that I named the kid after him, the wizard, Ozzie Bennett. Big thanks to our mates at DoorDash for making all of this possible. DoorDash, best footballing double D since Didier Deschamps.
That is Danny Drinkwater erasure, though, Rog. But for those of us here, we all know this city, New York City, was built on 2 foundational principles. 1, not making eye contact with strangers on the street. And 2, making sure Pizza Rat does not go hungry.
Pizza Bat, by the way, is proper Burnley. And I know Sean Dyche is not their manager anymore, but that ginger bastard would have signed Pizza Rat in a minute.
Yeah.
And not just for the American branding. In all seriousness...
He's a Sean Dyche kind of player, Rog.
He is a show. He brings it every single game. He's committed. He's tenacious. He eats that bloody pizza. And I love this city. I moved here in 2000. And as anyone who read my book will know, that I grew up with a mural of the Statue of Liberty and the New York skyline painted very badly on my bedroom wall. I remember looking at that thinking, it's amazing. But anyway, the main thing is, and many of you who are artists will know this, you can tell when you look at it that the guy really started out confidently, but then realized he'd run out of room and just jammed the ice cream in on the top, like, oh, Kid will never notice. Here I am, 87 years later. You're a crap artist and we overpaid you. But the reality is, this is, for Davo and me...
It's 3 minutes into our world tour and Roger's already in tears. It's amazing.
The land of the Beastie Boys, Ghostbusters, Lawrence Taylor, Cagney and Lacey, Martin Scorsese, whom I love so much, I named a dog after him. And it's a city filled with raw emotion, mixed with magical, life-changing chance encounters, like meeting you, Davo, for me to be candid. And in the words of the late, great Joan Didion, this is an entire city suffused with a sense that something extraordinary would happen any minute, any day, any month. And for us, that honestly describes the World Cup. But it also describes building Men in Blazers and the Men in Blazers media network. That has very much been the truth of it, David.
Yeah, we met on a boat circumnavigating the island, Roger. I love it. This is a proper football region, one that has given rise to so many of the young boys, babies on the Baby Eagles team, including Gio Reyna, Tyler Adams, Yunus Musa, proper New York, Joe Scally, and Tim Weah, all born or bred in New York State, however temporarily, fast becoming one of the world football's stealth hotbeds.
And exactly 5 blocks east of here, as we sit, Chuck Blazer once furnished his apartment for cats. Davo, honestly, I just want to slight aside, but I've often wondered how the entire history of FIFA would have turned out differently if Chuck Blazer's apartment for cats had just been rent stabilized. He wouldn't have needed the money, Davo. He wouldn't have needed the money. But this is not the time for real estate quibbles tonight.
I do see some very confused faces out there. Chuck Blazer, American FIFA executive, had an apartment just a few blocks east of here, and he made FIFA pay for another apartment above or below that apartment just for his cats. It really happened with FIFA money.
I don't think they're confused. Their faces are like, why did FIFA just offer one apartment for cats?
Yeah, exactly.
It's cats plural.
Yeah.
And number 2, I think they're confused because the photograph, dear podcast listeners, tomorrow morning, shows a Chuck Blazer with a parrot on his shoulder for no reason. I wonder what is that bloody parrot. But tonight, we're here to revel in all of it with you in this night of nights, New York City, celebrating a global game in this most global of cities. We've got a World Cup to celebrate together.
Yeah. Yeah, Rog, World Cups, they are such incredible oases in time. One of my favorite plurals. They have stopped wars. They have brought the world together.
OACI.
Oases.
OACI.
Meese. A couple of people might get that.
A gaggle of oases.
Oases.
They've also, honestly, made us feel alive. The sports historian David Goldblatt once compared a World Cup to an eclipse that strikes the entire planet for a month instantaneously. And a remarkable thing about them is that interplanetary sense of connectivity this tournament creates. You know that a relatively unknown player can pirouette through 3 defenders, then deliver a spinning roundhouse kick, blast the ball past Jordan Pickford, and within minutes, kids on schoolyards, dusty, muddy, whatever they are, all over the globe, will run outside and try and mimic that entire move while screaming that very player's name.
And that player's name, Rog, is Jordan Morris.
Surely there's more people who are Jordan Morris lovers here. Let's try that one again. And that person's name is Jordan Morris!
You've made everybody feel sorry for Jordan Pickford. Weekly on the pod is the problem. People feel too much sympathy.
I can't stand this Jordan Pickford who plays in an England shirt, David.
It's a different player. I
Dead
got it,
to me.
lads. I got it. But in terms of this World Cup, to borrow the words of Charles Dickens, the 2022 tournament is the best of times and also the worst of times.
The notion that the World Cup that we love will be played in Qatar.
Yeah, jamming the World Cup, Rog, a huge global sporting event, into a nation that is smaller than Connecticut, or 4 Yosemite national parks, or for people who are ultra familiar to the size of English counties, into a country the size of Yorkshire.
Yorkshire's actually gotten bigger since Jesse Marsh started to live there. But the American equivalent, for listeners at home who are trying to work out, what would this be like in America? It would be like, absurdly, if March Madness, the entirety of it, was just lifted up and transported and dumped into Bahrain. And probably, you know what? We don't know where 2024 is going to be held yet.
Yeah.
We just know Arlo White's going to be commentating
Oh.
on it. But the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, we laugh because we cry. This is, honestly, this is for the next month, this is what it feels like. We laugh because we cry. And the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, yes, it's going to be the most compact in the tournament's 92-year history by some stretch, turning what is normally a nationwide party that we're used to watching, participating in, reveling in which fans explore, connect, and really wonder. That feeling, you know, when you're really, really craving authentic Italian food, and then you suddenly find yourself stuck in the party room at the back of an Olive Garden.
Yeah, fans traveling to Qatar will be biting your arm off for a trip to the Olive Garden, Rog. No all-you-can-eat salad and breadsticks in Qatar, Rog, but to be serious for a moment, it would get worse. Qatar, a nation which won the hosting duties, let's face it, corruptly, has an appalling human rights record on women's issues, LGBTQ+, freedom, and it has been reported over 6,500 foreign workers have died to make their state World Cup ready.
And we watch football, and you tune into Men in Blazers to laugh and to love, and I think to connect and to feel alive. And yes, even though I am 97% soccer fan, I still like to believe I'm 3% human being. And it pains me to say this, that this is a World Cup that is soaked in blood. And it is painful to talk about this. It's not why we watch football. It's not why you commune. But we have to talk about this. And we've covered this ground in depth in our podcast series, World Corrupt, with my mate, Tommy Vitor. Basically, this is a World Cup so effed up that you think Elon Musk was organizing it. Can I just show you one thing that sums up how utterly insane Qatar's efforts to create real footballing culture born out of nothing really are?
If you're listening to this as a podcast, Rog has just popped up a photo Sam Borden tweeted out of a new coffee shop just opened in Qatar, which they have named after our insanely corrupt football federation, Conca Cafe. How did we not get to that joke first, Rog? I don't know. How? We could open that down in the crap part of Soho. We could have made a fortune at the Conca Cafe.
I want to tell you, I'm not meant to tell you this. I did try, but Sunil Galati sued me. But Conca Cafe, that coffee shop where you order a latte and a barista suddenly falls over for no reason, writhing in agony, clutching his face. Rafa Marquez appears out of nowhere, delivers a swift kick to your down blows, while other customers hurl bags of urine in your general direction.
Yeah, from plastic lawn chairs. Yeah, absolutely.
Something tells me this is really going to catch on. Honestly, this is a fire festival of a World Cup. And we will touch on, I hope tonight, and it's hard, we will touch on all of this cognitive dissonance, the wonder of football that binds us, and the darkness that FIFA have unleashed tonight with our guests.
Yes, Rog, we have an incredible, humbling series of remarkable professionals and human beings, the both, coming to join us on stage. We are elated to have a bona fide World Cup winner with us, the mighty Kelley O'Hara, a great American, then a great Welshman,
Joe Allen!
No, Matthew Rhys, Master of Disguise from the Americans.
I'll tell you when he's on stage because you might not recognize him.
He might already be on stage.
Oh, and then to talk about England, to talk about bloody FIFA, to talk about it all really, we will welcome to the stage for his record 14th appearance on Men in Blaze. If that was football caps, it would be about 573.
Yeah.
First ever to be candid live on stage, which is a big mistake. This is his first appearance on Men in Blaze's waist. That's not waist up.
Well, we're going to see his legs.
Yeah. Maybe. Well, we don't know. It just float on. It's my mate, John Oliver.
Okay, we come to marvel, we come to celebrate, we come to analyze, we come to make bold and most likely delusional predictions about what will unfold over the next month.
And above all, we will make collective memories with you all. That's the whole point of this tour. I like to think of the World Cup as the world's greatest blockbuster movie franchise, one that's played out live, with the players doing all their own stunt work in 64 games. Tom Cruise, Davo, all the players. Kind of. With 64 games crushed into 29 days, we're going to embrace all of the life, all of the joy, all of the darkness too. We're going to embrace the World Cup as we do, honestly. Real life right now. We've always joked football is just a reflection of real life. This is a World Cup that is truly a reflection of real life. We will marvel and we will fight. We will marvel and we will fight and pray that there are footballers who are courageous enough to do something that will highlight the evil that exists at the heart of the game. And we'll make sure, please God, that the game is never hijacked. The game we love in this way again, please God.
Yes, real life with more shipping containers, Rog. We will do this as we travel sea to shining sea. I'm going in a seaplane, Rog, because that's how I like to roll. Rog will be hitchhiking. We have 9 shows across the United States. We're doing so many Twitch broadcasts of the biggest games with a slew of incredible guests, including Matthew McConaughey, Becky Sauerbrunn, and Cola Bocchini. And of course, there will be podcasts on the daily because Rog is Rog.
Our goal, honestly, is to win this World Cup for America, no matter what happens on the field.
Yeah. We're going to win it in terms of podcast volume. We have so much to talk through together tonight.
How else can you win the World Cup?
Yeah, I know. It's a very good way. Very good way. Please do the honors. Make this official by bringing us together with a toast.
Can I get my Stein? Oh, here we go. I love you. This is amazing.
Is that producer John Johnson?
John Johnson! Producer, the Mike Birbiglia Show, the Lehman Trilogy, and our crap.
Yep.
Oh, let me just pour this beauty. Here we go. We are in it.
Loves a Stein.
I do love a Stein. Look at this. This is incredible. A Budweiser Stein. I can't tell you the happiness this. I'm sure the Germans have a word for this.
Yeah.
That we now have a personalised Budweiser Stein. It's genuinely, it gives me a joy on so many levels.
What's the word? The word for happiness of having a personalised Budweiser Stein?
I don't know, but Kummerspeck is the fat you put on after you break up a relationship and just sit around eating ice cream. So I think this will be something along those lines, to be honest, David.
I always remembered so much of his German.
I know, just the Kummerspeck. I want to raise this World Cup first bud of the day to what we're all about to embark on together. You know, I've always said so many different times on this podcast, this is a heavy Stein. Got to work on my core strength for this Stein, David.
Yeah, you've got to work out. We have to get you to the hotel gym.
I'm on a diet. Look, I'm on a regimen. Yeah. Good, Julian. You know, I've said so many times on this podcast that above everything, the football tournament is a global circus, a marker of time, a marker of human history. But above all, the World Cup is a chance for us all to make incredible memories. And I mean, for proof. You want proof? 3 of you want proof. That's enough. That's a quorum at Men in Blazers. Let me show you bad boys this.
Go, go, USA.
Oh, the moment Ian Dart was born in a manger to deliver. By the way, he's been shouting that out for years and no one's given a crap. That was context. And I could have showed you in 1994, Ernie Stewart's sweet, sweet winner against Colombia. 2002, Brian McBride's punishing opening goal against Mexico in the round of 16. Or John Brooks' winner against Ghana in 2014. John Brooks, too soon. I know, too soon. And if you were alive, and I hope you were in 2014, and watching, a lot of you are telling your partner, being like, was I there in 2014? I don't know. You know, you will not just remember the goal, but you will remember where you were in your own life, whom you were with, what you were feeling at that time, what you were worried about, whom you loved. And that's the power of this tournament on the regs, the depth of personal and collective memory that it forges for all of us. And I want to raise my blood fam. Despite FIFA trying to make this as difficult as it can be for all of us, let's make memories to American glory. Go, go, USA! Courage!
Okay, beautifully done, Rogelio. Okay, I'm looking at my Twitch. Does CONCACAF serve kofefe? Says Fargonia. Sweaty Wrangler says we won the World Cup against Mexico in the Nations League final, right? Yeah, plenty of comments. Keep them coming in on the Twitch.
Oh, Davo, do the honors. Take us through. What are we doing now?
Yes. Now, for the ritual of rituals at an MIB show, Rog, please rise as we take the first ceremonial photograph of the 2022 World Cup. On your feet, New York. As the great poet warrior Delia Smith would say, let's be having you. Oh, one more.
America! Yay! Are we going to win this fucking thing? Tonight we feast on Vikings!
That's a lot of different. And now there's a lot of different countries mentioned there, Rob.
By the way, I only shouted that out there because I wasn't on my mic, so Twitch couldn't hear me say the word fuck, and I do want to apologise.
Question coming in on the Twitch. Did Rog just say the word for... Oh, yeah, whatever. Okay, it is a joy to kick off this World Cup journey with a human being, Roger, who has actually won the bloody thing, not just once, but twice.
Kelley!
I know she is one of your favorite American players of all time, a human being who week in, week out shows the spirit of tenacity on the field all of America needs right now. An unapologetic, all-in, total domination swagger that is the best of the American game with NWSL soaring from strength to strength. It is a thing of wonder to welcome back the Empress of plant-based cuisine, Victory Apple Eater, Bud Shotgunner Extraordinaire from your US Women's National Team. It's Kelley O'Hara!
Oh man, what's up, guys? Yeah. How are you doing? You good?
I'm alive.
He's only cried 3 times already. Thrice.
What is up?
O'Hara.
How are we?
Oh, you know, we're just
Making it?
making it.
Okay.
You know, making it. Kelley is amazing. Kelley is like a born winner who is the most competitive human being I know. I am like the opposite of Kelley in every regard, which is why I do like to believe
Just
we
a
get
little.
on so well.
Just a
What?
little bit. different.
We get on just a little bit. She doesn't really associate with born losers who are not competitive in any way, shape, or form. But you are, to me, the Empress of Peachtree City, Georgia. It's incredible to be with you in person. I've got to ask you this. Are you ready, Kelley, for the Men's World Cup, which I like to think of as a Women's World Cup, but just not as good?
I am. Look at it. I'm ready. Got the gear for the boys. Let's go, boys.
Love
right?
it.
We're excited for them. We're pumped. I'm pumped for the World Cup. I'm ready to sit on my couch, drink some beer, watch the games, probably yell some profanities, and cheer on the boys.
I'm not a doctor, but Kelley O'Hara's got a case of World Cup fever.
There you go. There you go.
Kelley, I don't know if you count these things, but you have actually been in 3 World Cups. So let me put it this way. The 3 of us at this table have been in 3 World
Between
Cups.
us. Between us.
Right, David?
We have.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
We
good.
have,
Good
we
math.
have, we have
Fast
played
math.
between us in 3 World Cups.
Yeah.
We've covered so many between us, but we've played in 3.
Yeah, and you have been in the belly of the beast. It's why I'm so excited to be with you. And our American boys, the baby Eagles, they've just Avenger assembled in their camp. 22 of the players trained yesterday. Their opening game against Wales is just 6 clicks away.
That's it?
Yeah.
Don't freak me out, Kelley. We're going to get to that in a minute. Can you describe the mindset? Because you've been there in a group of footballers coming together from their different zip codes, all eager to define themselves in a US jersey, knowing either glory or doom awaits, because there is no in-between for me and Davo. We've been in 3 World Cups between us, remember? That's how we did. How are they feeling right now before they've kicked a ball? Is it excitement? Yay, we're together. Is it fear? Holy shit, we're going to crap the bed. What cocktail of emotions abound in a run-up to that first moment?
I mean, you're talking like a true veteran, because you've been,
We've been there.
Yeah, you've been there.
Yeah. Rog could both ask that incredibly long question and answer it himself.
Yeah, no, I was waiting for just to go full.
It was an agony, let me tell you.
Exactly. No, they're probably over there right now. Honestly, the best part is once the roster's named, you feel the team come together. It's clearly very, stressful leading into that phone call you get
Tell
from.
me about it.
I
I don't enjoy that moment because my phone never rings.
Yeah, exactly.
When we know the
Raj,
roster's about to be announced, and I put my phone there, and I'm like,
yeah, you're just waiting. You know the date.
I know.
You're just waiting. Yeah.
I'm like,
No, but they're probably. I hope they're feeling good. I from my 3 World Cups that I've done. Hour 3. We know. It's nice. You get over there. You kind of shut out the world and focus on the task at hand. And again, it's just about putting your head down, going to work, and knowing that you got things to accomplish. You have either victory or doomsday. So, and I'm feeling victory, right?
Okay.
Let's go. For the boys.
Talking of the roster reveal, in one of the most bizarre moments in Men in Blazers history, Rog had Greg Berhalter join him the night he revealed the final roster last week.
Did you really?
Yes, he did. Oh, yes, he did. Wow.
How'd you snag that?
well, my name is spelled R-O-G-G-G, and his name is spelled G-R-E-G-G. We're G brothers.
Yeah, and Rog, of course, asked Triple G about whether the fact that there's almost no time to prepare for the tournament, the squad just fully arrived 2 days ago, and kickoff is just 6 clicks away, as he said. He loves having no prep. He actually favors his young team. He said a bunch of 20-somethings in camp will lose their stuff if there's nothing to do for a month. In your experience, no practice. Let's do this thing. At the international level, does no practice work?
He actually said that?
Yeah, he did. Okay. To Roger.
That, we know from experience, does not work. But you know what?
Yeah.
There's always time to try something new, so maybe it's going to be like their good luck charm. Maybe?
Avengers Assemble!
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, good.
There you go.
God,
Ooh, that's tough. That's tough.
Pray to the gods of football and shed all doubts. We are in their hands now, America. Kelley, You have played hundreds of games of football. You have played 156 times for the United States of America.
Long time, yeah. Just a couple.
And there was fans, like, we always project that the World Cup is so unbelievably special, unlike anything in sports and all that. But, and there was players and fans experience things utterly differently. But I do need to know, as an American to an American...
You've been there, Raj.
Why are you laughing about me being an American? I want you to know, this is just a baseline. And I'm saying this politely for people on Twitch, because I'm like, I effing love America in the same way as Kenny Powers loves America, okay? Do not let this accent fool you in any way, shape, or form. But I do want to know, I mean, you play for America a lot. How does it feel to hear the national anthem before a World Cup game? Does it feel different to, let's just say, a She Believes game?
Just slightly, just a little bit. No, it definitely feels different. I mean, World Cups are the pinnacle of the sport, and it's, as a footballer, it's what you have dreamed of your whole life. So to be able to be like taking the field, representing your country on the greatest stage there is, when the whole world pauses and everything's about football, that's like, as an athlete, and again, like specifically a footballer, it's the coolest thing. And it's, you can't really describe it. It's cool, guys. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Once the whistle goes and you are locked in and the game is underway, mentally, I'm always fascinated. There's a moment when it starts to feel like any other game, or are you constantly running around the field with an inner monologue going, holy crap, this is a World Cup game, baby?
It's a little bit of both, honestly. But no, for me, I feel like I get locked in and the nerves start to almost become focused in a way when I get on the bus. Even before we've gotten to the stadium or, walked out for the anthem and the whistle's blown, like for me, that's when I really start to become focused and feel like, okay, it's, how to play soccer, it's just another soccer game. But I will say, I think that because, we do prepare and practice. And, put in the,
practice.
We do those things.
Practice.
Yeah, so we...
The practice thing.
Once the whistle does blow, we do feel prepared, or at least I have in the past, and confident that we're able to do what we need to do. But, like I said, always down to see if something new works, right?
David,
crossed.
I've just realised that Pep Guardiola watches football with a large P on his jersey, and we wondered,
is that for Pep?
We thought it was for Pep. Then we thought it was for Pep's son, a tribute to Phil Foden.
Phil Foden.
And I now realise tonight P is for practice, guys. Practice.
Might
It's
be
for
why
practice.
they're quite good.
Yeah, I'm going to send one.
Practice,
I'm going to send one out to guitar
100%.
quickly, David. But go on.
However, there is an incredible statistic about the US men that I saw today when I read these cards before we came up on stage, that the mighty Greg Paquette wrote on Twitter. Are you ready for this? The US men have either scored or been scored upon in the first 10 minutes of each of their opening World Cup games dating back to 1998.
No.
That is, it's incredible. They sound like the national team version of Leeds United.
Wait, can I ask, though?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just killed your joke, but how many of those are they scored first?
That is a really good question.
I feel like that's a
really good question.
I just had a layer of statistics.
Yeah,
nobody scored on them at the 2018 World Cup, just to be clear. No one team.
God.
Ublo, please take Kelley O'Hara's question and give me an answer
Yes.
before the end of this
Send
podcast.
it.
Thank you
Send it
so
through.
much. How do you understand that, though? Either coming out and scoring or getting scored upon in the first 10 minutes, either leak or unleash the hounds of hell in the first 600 seconds of every single game. Is that just adrenaline? What is that?
Or is
Again,
it crapping your pants?
Well, I think if it's more goals for, it's adrenaline. If it's more goals against, it's crapping your pants.
Okay.
Because
Ublo, get back to
we need to know that specifically.
By the way, either way, you deserve a trophy as far as I'm concerned. But am I right, bedwetters at a late age? Am I right? One thing you know more than anybody, Kelley O'Hara, is how to bloody win. I mean, you are one of the most, as I said, hyper-competitive American athletes I know. I mean, you are all too familiar with what it means to experience victory at this tournament, to strap on those ski goggles, to be soaked in blood, to eat Ashlyn Harris's apple on command.
That happened?
I don't know. We're going to pop it up, but we just want to leave it as a mystery at this point. But you have also, and I know this did happen, you paraded through the Canyon of Heroes and in New York City, this incredible place. I'm sure a lot of you were there. Here's what I want to know. What will it take for our US men to experience that? What has to happen, Kelley, for them to win in my lifetime?
I don't want to say it, but probably practice.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe?
Maybe also Roger to drink a little less during Men in Blazers podcasts. Well, no, it's just so he lives longer and gets more time.
100%.
I love Rog. I want him to live for a very, very long time. I'm
being
only
a good
human.
friend. Yeah.
It's my friend.
They may say it's all my fault, Davo. But one last quick question. The World Cup, the Men's World Cup, as we like to say, just the undercard for the big one.
Yeah.
The Women's World Cup, which takes place in Australia and New Zealand next summer.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It will be the single most competitive of all time. Our US women just came back this Sunday to beat Germany 2-1.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, God bless you, Sophia Smith.
Yeah.
And end a fairly unprecedented 3-game losing streak. And I want to know, from the inside of the squad, what is the mentality right now? Are you just telling each other it's just a wake-up call? Like, how are you processing what has gone on over the past couple of weeks? Set us up as we approach this World Cup year.
I've been out for a bit, so I haven't been in with the team, but I obviously have been in touch with, my teammates and talking to them throughout the past couple weeks and months. And obviously, you never want to, we as the women's national team, or I think any team, never wants to lose. That's just not who we are. And I think that you want to come up against obstacles before you have to get tested on the world's greatest stage. And we've done this 3 times, right?
Yeah.
So we understand that it's important to go through some hard times, to go through some tests and to figure out what needs to be tinkered with and practiced. So yeah, I think that I'm excited for 2023. I'm excited to go into this next year. It's a World Cup year. Obviously, we've learned lessons. We've been really successful, and we've also had to deal with some defeats, and that's good ahead of a World Cup, honestly. So I'm excited for the team, and I'm not stressed at all. I'm feeling good.
I love
Zero
it.
chill.
Zero chill. It is really an incredible moment to be with you, Kelley. It's an incredible place to be with you also, New York City.
New York, baby.
A state. It's been the birthplace of so many American footballing heroes. We listed the men's national team players at the top of the show, Gio, Tyler, Eunice, and more. But on the women's side, Crystal Dunn, proper Strong Island, Christine Lilly, Shannon Box, Tiffany Milbrett, Sam Coffey. The list goes on, past, present, and dare we say future. This region, New York, is essentially concrete Catalonia.
It's a hotbed.
Yeah, it is.
Absolute hotbed.
And Kelley, I believe that you have one more name to add to the pantheon of New York City's footballing magical kingdom tonight. Tell us, Kelley O'Hara, your news.
Well, I'm caught down here, but I got a little news for New York tonight. Free agency opened today, and
football's coming home!
Love it.
yeah, we're going.
So exciting.
Hey, I'm pumped to be back, baby. Let's fucking go.
was an amazing walk-off.
Kelley, that was just the first
back.
scene in a 5-act play.
You told me it was done after this.
No!
Shoot.
Kelley, in your modest way, your ever modest way.
Oh, yeah. I remember this part. Got so excited, guys. New
By the
York,
way-
let's go.
This whole script tonight, by the way, whether you are listening to Matthew Rhys, John Oliver, Dave or me, Kelley wrote all of it, so she just
I
pretended
did.
she
In my
doesn't
free
know
time, yeah.
any of this stuff. But they practicing.
Practice.
That's it. We've worked on our offside trap, and it's crap. Davo. No, we're not there.
Oh,
Don't you fall apart like it.
Everyone.
Davo
Oh,
said.
yeah. Incredible news. Nothing's there. Nothing's there. Kelley O'Hara is back for a second time with the franchise. How does it feel? Come on. How does it feel to be back? How does it feel? This is all a surprise to me. I'm just cold reading the whole thing. Literally, I am so surprised. I'm mind blown. No idea.
Well, it's fucking awesome. I'm stoked. I'm so excited to be back in New York City with these people, with this team. Yeah, I'm back, baby.
Can we just say, Kelley O'Hara in New York City. How do you feel, New York City?
Let's go.
And Kelley, I've got to say, I am so bloody happy for you.
Thank
I
you.
really am. I adore Kelley O'Hara. Her spirit is one that I try and fail at many, many times in my own life, conjuring. And I want to bring out the good stuff, Davo, to make a toast. Can you bring it out? This is a bottle
Now.
of...
Now.
Yes,
Now.
now. Do it now.
I love it.
I have laid down this bottle of vintage Bud.
You laid it-
Look
set
at
it
it.
down.
Yeah, laid it down. It's NWSL Champions beer. And I'm going to ask Davo to open it and hand it to you. And I want to raise, technically, my 4th thirst Bud of the day. Kelley gets the big one. Do the honours, Davo.
Okay, we're choosing.
Davo, raise a Bud with me to this moment, to one of the finest human beings that I do know in the game, one of the fiercest competitors that I've ever witnessed take the field. And I did have the pleasure, the honour, the joy of going to Peachtree City with you, and I spent time with your family before the last World Cup,
You're
which
part
was
of the family, Raj.
big mistake on your part.
It was, yes.
Massive
I
mistake.
do call your mother Mum now, it's just a thing. And your mum, our mum, told me
Our mom, yes. Before our World Cup.
that
About our World Cups.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Your mother, your incredible mother, told me that when you were a kid and you took the field, that she and your dad would look at you and see if your fangs came out. And they knew when they did, they called them the fangs. And when the fangs came out, there could only be one winner. And I want to raise the Bud to that spirit, infusing Gotham,
Yeah.
a team I adore. Propel them to a journey of glory.
Let's go.
To you, Kelley O'Hara, to Gotham, to glory.
Yes, welcome back. Brilliant. Okay.
Now you have to chug that whole thing.
Now do
With
I
us all.
exit stage?
Yes,
No.
let's hear a big hometown roar for Kelley O'Hara of Gotham FC!
We worked so hard on that.
Oh, we practiced so hard. We practiced. See, Rog, practice. So important.
That was pretty. That was meta Kelley showing us what happens when you don't practice.
Okay, Rog.
Davo, Kelley
Let's
O'Hara.
move. I know. What amazing. Oh, great GFOP. Great guest. Perfect. What a player. What a woman. Joining us now, Rog, though, and I think I'm not alone in feeling this way, the only man I would knowingly hand over state secrets to the Russian government for. A mammothly talented, Emmy Award-winning actor, once described as prestige television's undisputed champion of misery. But what a joy it is to have him with us tonight. He's also, as it happens, one of the finest Welshmen in Hollywood, born and raised in the great city of Cardiff, the only person who'll be on this stage who will be actively rooting against the United States come next week. From the Americans and Perry Mason and that one episode of Girls which lives rent-free in your mind, it's the one and only Matthew Rhys.
Americans.
Can we get a bit of volume on that?
What an introduction. I might leave now.
Yeah, it was good, that.
Yeah.
That was good,
It's
that.
not going to get any better.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm going to read this. Matthew,
Yeah.
you grew up in Cardiff.
True.
Good. That was the first piece of research is
Yeah,
correct.
this is mastermind.
Yeah.
Yes. A bit tough, these questions.
Name.
Yes.
Rank,
Car-
serial number.
Cardiff. No, Swansea.
Specialist subject.
Yeah.
A biographical fact that I think surprises people, partly because you do such a convincing American accent, but mostly because you're best known for a television series literally called The Americans.
Yes.
The Welsh didn't fare so well in testing. Do people react weirdly when they hear your real accent for the first time, when they meet you on the street, in the subway?
They go like this. They go, I didn't know you were... Then they go, are you Welsh? And then I was like, yeah. Then it ends soon thereafter.
They say, you Russian bastard.
Yes.
So that was just me. Can I just say,
Yes. That was him 25 minutes ago. I had to explain it was an act of fiction. I said, I'm not really Russian.
Rod's not good at that.
I am such a big fan of your work, Matthew. I did watch The Americans.
We found
once
you.
because it is brilliant. And then I watched the second time just to watch the creativity of the disguises that you had to wear, which I love because you had to be good enough to make it look like you were, you know, in disguise, but not so good that we always knew it wasn't Philip Jennings.
You know, Kerry and I would share wigs. You know that first wig, the blonde one? Kerry wore that wig, and they gave her these little round spectacles, and I said, you look like evil John Denver.
That's just John Denver.
Yeah. It was, well, steady on. Yeah.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
Because we got some serious crap to talk about.
Yeah.
I want to say,
Serious crap.
Serious.
Wales, I want to go on the record saying, is a beautiful nation. And my favourite description of it, we used to have a house in Carnarvon
Did
when
you?
I grew up. Yeah, it's called Hafford, which means house in Wales. My dad was not that imaginative. He used to tell me, he used to quote the quote by the poet R.S. Thomas. He used to say, to live in Wales is to be conscious at dusk of the spilled blood that went into making the wild sky. And he say, Dad, I just want to have some dinner. And
You could throw a stone at sunset, any Welshman, and one of them would probably be saying something similar.
yeah, I mean, this is what I want you to describe to us before we get into the football. Wales is a place of beauty.
Yeah.
Like Liverpool, where I am from.
Yes, it's likened often to Liverpool.
What
In fact,
part
we're
do you
known as the poor man's Liverpool.
want? We're going to get to that. I mean, like Liverpool, it has suffered in post-industrial Britain when we grew up, but it is still famed, unlike Liverpool, for its rugged coastline. Its dragons, real dragons,
Best
you
dragons,
HBO
best
bastards.
dragons.
we breed the best
Oh,
dragons.
the best dragons.
Real
Yes.
dragons.
Oh, I love that. The cute little baby dragons.
Yes.
Little fire.
Yeah.
Love it.
Discipline them,
Yeah,
mate.
you
You've got to
could-
discipline them.
Oh, yeah, you got to be tough with them.
Yeah, but they're
Otherwise,
so
they'll burn your
cute.
crumpets.
Spare the rod, spare the dragon. But lamb soup, male voice choirs, leaks. Bonnie Tyler!
Bonnie, a total eclipse of the heart.
I thought
Yeah.
that would get a bigger roar. I've got to be candid.
Yeah.
It's
We're
right.
aging- we're
there's
aging
more,
out,
There's
Ross.
more Cardiff than Swansea in here, clearly.
Yeah, Bonnie Tyler, some
Yeah.
bloody Swansea.
Yeah.
I've wandered into this awful, like, Gino's cheesesteak beef in Philadelphia by bringing up Bonnie Tyler between Cardiff and Swansea. But,
And they're off.
yeah, I know, they're off. Was it Bonnie Tyler? Was it Gino's? It was Gino's. Population, 3.1 million.
I'm going to take a moment. Take
Complete.
a moment for the audience to take that
Yeah,
fact
let's do
in.
this.
A population of 3.1 million.
As big as Nevada.
Yes. Geographically the size of Connecticut, and we are in the World Cup.
Yeah.
By the way, I do believe, I don't know if the new rules are, if you're the same size as Connecticut, I think you get to host the World
Yeah, you
Cup.
do. You do. Yeah.
here's
Yeah.
That's too big to host a World Cup.
That's slightly too
big.
too
So you
big.
have
You've
to
got
be
to be
slightly
like,
smaller. You have
yeah,
to be
you got to be the
slightly smaller.
Faroe Islands will get to host next.
The metaverse is going to host it, yes, next. That's we going to. How would you, the failing metaverse, has been awarded the 2034 World Cup? How would you describe Wales for Americans so they understand its state of mind?
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Gareth
Similar to the
Bale.
Wirral? Oh.
Similar to the Wirral.
Yes.
Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale grew up in the park. There's a park that divides myself and Gareth Bale. And Gareth Bale grew up on Velindre Road. So I like to think that in some small way, I contributed to where Gareth Bale is today, just by sharing a park.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Gareth. Yeah.
Congratulations on your MLS Cup victory.
Thanks very much. We drilled that header when we were both 8 years old. Well, he was 8, I was 29.
Slightly creepy Matthew Rhys, still playing.
I could see the
go on,
talent
cricket.
in him.
But growing up in Cardiff, what role did football play, soccer, in your life as a kid? Young Matthew Rhys, you grew up like everyone else in Wales. You played rugby,
Yes.
as well as football.
Yes.
Take us back to those early days. Whom did young Matthew support?
Oh, well, interesting question. Or maybe not. Let's try and stay awake for this one, everyone. So obviously during that time, when it was pre. See, this is how I relate to people. Not like millennials or Gen X or Gen Z or whatever they are. It's PP. You're either pre-Premiership or post-Premiership. So this was pre-Premiership, and obviously Liverpool were an enormous influence and force.
Yeah.
You know, Kenny Dalglish. You know, America had Kenny G. We had Kenny D.
Yeah.
Kenny Dalglish was leading the four, and all my school friends.
I'm going to stop you there. You said we didn't have Kenny G, as if the apex of smooth jazz was in any way equivalent to Kenny Dalglish.
you may mock me, but he's known as the smooth jazz musician of
Kenny
football. Kenny Dalglish. If there was ever anyone to be likened to a smooth jazz musician, it's a dour Scotsman.
I think it's fair.
Thanks.
Fair.
Fair. I think kind to Kenny. Kenny D. So all of my friends.
Let's do John Tesh next.
Carry on, Matthew. All of your friends.
Sorry, yes. So all of my friends obviously were supporting Liverpool because Liverpool earns a great support from Wales, almost purely from proximity because we're very close to Wales. So myself, being the dim half-wit that I've always been, and being a complete idiot, when I'm going to be very different, I'm not going to support Liverpool, I'm going to support Everton.
Oh.
And I did.
Yes.
I followed Howard Kendall, the Duke Ellington of Merseyside. In the glory days of Adrian Heath, Pat Vanden Howell, Derek Mountfield, a great Welshman, Neville Southall in goal. You know, everyone was loving Ian Rush, obviously, in Liverpool. He's been referenced in milk commercials. And I thought, no, I'm going to follow the lesser-known Welshman, Kevin Ratcliffe at Everton. Poor old Kevin Ratcliffe. With a name like that, I'll follow you.
Matthew Rhys, you beautiful, sick bastard.
Yes, that's what they called me in school.
And you did it just to be different.
Yeah, just to be toffee and sick.
And when I first spoke to you, you told me you did it just to be, because when you were young, your quote is, I was just an effing idiot.
No, it's not when I was young. I've always been an effing idiot. I'm still an effing idiot.
I used to have a friend who ran the Liverpool local newspaper, and in the early days of the internet, the Liverpool Echo, he ran the sports pages. I remember when he came round to my house, and he showed me with this map, these data maps. He said, this is where Liverpool are, like, popular. And he showed me this incredible world map with, like, hits from, like, Africa and Thailand and South America and across Scandinavia. And then I made the mistake. I was like, well, where do Everton get hits for the Liverpool Echo? And he doubled up on his computer. He pulled up a map, and he just showed the city of Liverpool and North Wales.
And that was all Matthew Rhys.
And I realized
that would be running rampant.
You grew up, as you said, when Everton had a great Welsh lineage. Pat Vanden Howell, the legendary Neville Southall, as you mentioned. There was also Liverpool's Ian Rush, Man United's Mark Hughes playing at the same time. But they were always quite poor as a collective when they played for the Welsh national team. To be a Welsh fan was about being braced to be disappointed for much of your youth. It was a marathon, some would say, of misery.
To be Welsh it is basically what was the quote again?
A marathon of misery.
Yes, to be Welsh is bracing yourself for a marathon of misery, regardless of following a sport, a national team or sport. You know, we hail from a long line of people who always says things like, but when you say you're Welsh, you went, who always say, isn't it a shame Ian Rush never got to play? Isn't it a shame Mark Hughes? Isn't it a shame Ryan Giggs? Isn't it a shame? And they almost got away with it by saying, isn't it a shame Gareth Bale never? And we go, actually, you're wrong. He will.
Yes.
And God bless him.
And we're going to get to that part of the story in a minute because it is magical. But I do want to take you back a step and let you know that the last time Wales played in a World Cup game...
You were 4. 5.
I was 27.
Oh, that's what it was.
It was 1958. Podcasts had just been invented.
On our pod radios.
Davo and I had just met. He'd just done What Millionaire Do You Want to Be?
Yeah, that was the $64,000 question. Just got out of jail.
Davo, it was a $64 question. Yeah, it was like, you get a 64.
Your podcast was called Boys in Short Trousers.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I wish.
Yeah, we were like, Davo was like, what will puberty be like? I don't know, but I fear it. And you know,
I fear it.
I fear it. Like Alan Jones, it's a joke just for you. But in those days, the great Pele himself had not been through puberty. He was just 17. And I only know that because he actually scored the winner against Wales in a 1-0 quarter-final defeat in Sweden. And growing up, I want to know for you, the notion of Wales, your Wales, the Marathon of Misery Wales, qualifying for a World Cup, did it feel like something that you yearned for, that you dreamed of, but you know, like the crock of gold at the end of a rainbow or Moses entering the Promised Land, that you know, just like, you know, I could be on Men in Blazers when Wales qualify a World Cup, but it will never happen.
If only they will qualify, I will make it to Men in Blazers.
Yeah, exactly. You're regretting it now.
We must beat, I know the Ukraine are in turmoil, but we must beat them so I can get to Men in Blazers.
Yeah.
That was my sole thought.
Yeah.
And then fielding strange social media responses from like, how dare Wales beat Ukraine? You're like, what?
Yeah.
What? What are we meant to do?
That was mainly from the Scots, to be
Yeah,
fair.
going, we'll lay down for them. We gave our title away. You're like, no, you didn't. You got trounced.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of social media from the occupiers of Kherson.
It was a bit odd. It was bittersweet. You know, and it was that. He was like, we beat Ukraine together. And then, you know, obviously, we were sorry, lads, you're going to Qatar. And they were like, oh, shit.
We're jumping ahead of us a tiny bit, but I do love it.
We waited all this time, and they're going to Qatar. Oh,
what
bollocks.
exotic country may we journey to together as fans and seal our national identity? Will we go to Brazil, maybe? Or maybe to Japan? No, you're going to Qatar.
Yeah, bring a sleeping bag and a tent.
Oh, well, mate, don't bring a sleeping bag in a tent. We'll charge you $1,000 a night for those
Well,
bastards.
I know from the photos we've seen today, I was like, I hope they packed some camping gear. It doesn't look ready.
By the way, bringing camping gear to Qatar, it's like going to a fancy restaurant and bringing your own bottle. You still get charged the F out of it. But I do want to go back again. I want to know, like, essentially, when you were a kid, you going to a World Cup, it was like an English kid being like, I'm going to win the Super Bowl as a QB. Like, we all wanted to be Jim McMahon. But, like, guys, I just want to be candid.
We'll fix it in
No,
post.
come on, fill me in on that one. Fill me in.
I just want to say Tony Eason and Steve Grogan are in the audience, and they're both moaning in the background pathetically. And you lost heavily. Shut the F up. Chicago Bears, they won in 1986 in January and will win in 2023 like the US women. I'm only adding the US women so we get a cheer. I'm getting a bit annoyed. Go Bills. Yes, go Bills. Yes, God bless. Go Eagles too. I love Philadelphia. I love all American cities equally. This is complicated. Oh.
No one near this. Rod.
What do you want me to say?
Page 25.
My favourite.
Can I say, everything in Wales, back to Wales, people.
Just for 8 minutes. For God's sake, we've waited this long. Give us 8 minutes.
There's going to be a question.
There's going to be a question.
From the audience?
I'm
No,
exhausted.
Oh.
from Roger.
You know, but trust me, after that, what we just experienced, you don't want a question from the audience. Steve Grogan, shut the hell up. Everything started to change with the appointment of the late, great Gary Speed, a Welshman who oversaw an overhaul of investment in the youth system. He began to build a true fan base, worked on encouraging players, Welsh all, but not all born in Wales, not all Welsh speakers, to embrace Welsh culture, called the Welsh team by their name, Cymru, learn their national anthem, and it really was watching it from England. It was like, oh my God, this man is forging individual parts into a true collective. Gary Speed made the Welsh national team feel more like a club side. This is important for all of us than an international one. And there's something about hearing the Welsh national anthem, Hein Vlad Fi'n Hadau, Old Land of My Fathers. It's one of the most affecting, powerful moments in world football. And I want to know, what do you feel when you sing it?
It's interesting. If I can segue for a second, the Welsh FA have been very smart in not, jumping on a moment and combining it with a newfound sense of kind of pride and patriotism that was much needed. And the song they chose was by a Welsh activist, a very famous Welsh activist called Davo. And the song they now sing is called Yma o Hyd, which is We Are Still Here. And when I sing the Welsh national anthem, it resonates with that song in that you asked me what I think, to try and describe what Wales is. And the one description I heard was, we're the little country that can. And it's incredible that for a small country of, 3 million people, when we go up against England, and, it's what sport does. It gives you this opportunity to, you fill in your own blank at this point. Do you write, to right any wrong, oh God, my head's spinning because for the right answer. But,
Well, it's about feeling like an oppressed people and dealing with your oppressors when you play against England.
I was trying not to go there.
As one of your oppressors,
Yes.
I'll say it.
Yes, I was trying not to go down
My family were nowhere near there when we oppressed you, but I waved the flag.
Well,
like we
God,
oppressed
yes,
you.
God bless you. The age-old joke is that we say, it's been 800 years of oppression by England. So in those moments where you sing the national anthem, you're willing this moment of some small retake, some small victory, something for what Wales has had to endure for the last kind of 800 years, really.
And I want to get to that. And you can, by the way, you can and you should. I want to get to this moment, and we should acknowledge that 2016's glorious run in the Euros, all the way to the quarterfinals where you beat Belgium. God bless you, Hal Robinson, Canna, you gorgeous Welsh sex god. Before being
Could
taken
have been
down.
Matthew in disguise.
Yeah,
Could have been.
Possibly was, but you were taken down by those eventual winners, Portugal, in the semis. Ronaldo, you bastard. But
Where's he now?
Where is he now?
Yeah, talking to Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
Bitching up a storm.
Yeah. You're on them with the Men in Blazers.
Yeah.
And Ronaldo's with Piers Morgan.
Yes. And I'm wearing proper shoes as well. Not like when he did his interview. I was like, what are them shoes?
Yeah, by the way, I got to tell you, I love that. You're with Piers Morgan, which is evil in itself, but bitching up a storm, that's unforgivable. And
Leave with grace.
always, that sounds like an incredible Welsh hymn that would be sung
Yeah.
by a
Yes,
Welsh royal
yes.
choir. The pulpit's just been closed, but
course.
leave with grace.
Well, of
you
course.
English mother.
Yes. Well,
That's for
you all
Twitchers,
had
but
amazing grace. We've had to leave every major tournament since 1958, so we leave with grace.
And
That's what we're known for.
That World Cup did remain the holy grail, that unattainable high. And that changed when a deflected Gareth Bale free kick was enough to secure a 1-0 win over a bereft and vulnerable, I've got to say, Ukraine in Cardiff and send Welsh supporters into rapture. I've got to ask you, I'm going to just give you 3 random moments of Welsh history off the top of my head.
Yeah.
1400.
Not a great century for us.
But the
when
Glendor...
things started going pretty shit. Actually, if you want to go down, it's 1282. Things got started really badly. By 1400, everyone's going, this is not working out for us.
Yeah, but...
Henry VIII comes on going, stop speaking Welsh, you inbred bastards. And we're like, all right, keep your ear on. Have another wife.
Let Rog say the things he found in Wikipedia.
Why? I can do it much.
No, can I say...
Come on, give us your research.
Can I tell you, from experience, it's never a smart thing to say to Henry VIII, keep your head on.
I know.
Ooh, all right.
Look at you.
Yeah, ooh, someone's tired. Had an argument with Pope, did you?
Twitter fans, keep your head on, Henry VIII.
Yeah.
By the way, Henry VIII would have brought Twitter, but 1990...
Would have fired less people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cut some heads
I've
off.
got-
Elon Musk, the Henry VIII of our time.
I've got gout, I'm going to buy Twitter. You know, 1997, I missed 1485, Henry Tudor became the first Welsh king of England.
Yes, all right.
Didn't you like that?
Yeah, that
I'm
was
a bit
good. The
nervous
Tudors,
now.
Tudors were good for us.
I'm a bit nervous now because I've gone deep on this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never good.
1997.
Yeah.
Wales voted yes, and I'm crapping my pants out. I don't know if this is good or
Yes,
bad.
for devolution.
But
Yeah.
yes, devolution!
Yes! We've been wanting to devolve for 800 years.
Yeah. It sounds like a prog rock album. We've been wanting to devolve.
Devolution!
I don't, by the way, I'm not a political analyst, but I do think if you change the name for something more catchy than devolution.
Like what?
Who wants to devolute?
Evolution.
No, who wants to devolute? Honestly, as a human being, do you want to devolute?
Devolve.
Well, yes, we wanted to devolve for hundreds of years because we're never going to get our own. We're never going to get our own government.
I'm
will
just
we?
weak. I fear devolution, but I don't like to be
Don't
hyperbolic.
fear devolution. Accept it as your new master.
Where does the Welsh national
Get
team?
to Tom Jones.
Where does the Welsh?
Whoa! Every child in Wales has to learn those few notes. What's new, pussycat? Whoa! You have to do it. I'm not showing off. I'm just doing something every child has to do to prove he's Welsh. Or she.
Oh my God! I've just suddenly become pregnant. But
That's what happens if you're on Tom.
I do need to know, what does the Welsh national team qualifying for its first World Cup? Where does it rank with that?
Where does what? With all those facts you just gave?
Yeah.
Sadly, I wasn't around for the first 4, so this one feels pretty good.
I've got to ask you, Gareth Bale, the man who scored all 3 Welsh goals in World Cup players, look at him, 33 years old, 5 Champions League victories, and even better, 1 MLS Cup. And this man is finally going to wear the Welsh dragon on his heart and the captain's armband on his, whatever that muscle is, I don't have one, as he runs around a World
He's not
Cup.
going to wear it on his thigh, Rog.
Well, can you put into words as a Welshman what you see when you witness Gareth Bale?
What I love most about Bale is his. You see his passion for his country, and that's what I love most about. You know, we can all see and appreciate his footballing prowess and his skill and talent, but when you see the zeal and you see his pride and his patriotism and his passion, that's what I think imbues that team, that squad, and I think it will help us enormously.
Yeah, those scenes of victory at Cardiff City Stadium were stirring and unforgettable. But how long did it take you before you were like, holy crap, we're facing England, bloody England? Can you accurately describe, and really don't hold back this time, what Welsh people think of the English and the chance, the opportunity to face England in this World Cup?
You know, when it's a rough one. I'm going to say it's a rough one. You know, you wait all this time, and the World Cup is in Qatar. Then the groups came out, and everyone went, "Oh, fucking hell, England." Sorry, you said don't hold back.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry. I
don't hold back.
apologize.
Come, bring it.
Because when they, it's like Michael Sheen's speech. They're going to travel all that way, and we got to play England. And for someone who might, like myself, I dress up for a living, and it's slightly over emotional at times. I'm concerned.
Like Rog.
That's why we're good friends. Even the dressing up.
Yeah.
Like, the psychology that comes with a game against England is enormous for us as a nation. And for me, I go, if there was someone I didn't want in the groups, if there was the only people I didn't want in the groups, it would be the English. Because I don't, and I'm talking now without having spoken to the Welsh squad, so they might say, look, you dress up for a living and you're slightly over-emotional. That stuff doesn't get into our head. But to me, there is a lot of baggage when we play England. It's an enormous game.
You told me it wasn't just about sports, but it's impossible to separate it from 800. You told me if Wales beat England, you would die the next day a happy man because you would not be able to separate the politics from the story of the game. Can you just describe for our audience what Welsh people think of when they think of England?
When think of England?
Yeah, I mean, really. We've all seen Train Spotting. We know well what Scottish people
I know.
think
It's a
of
very
England.
valid point in the speech. In Train Spotting goes like, we were colonized by wankers. What does that make us?
Yeah. Fair.
So describe what Welsh people in this moment as you watch that game.
I'm not going to go back over the history lesson. I think we've touched heavily on, sadly, how much we don't like the English. So I think if we beat England, we'll probably just leave the World Cup and said we did it.
Yeah. Stay in Qatar.
Yeah, I was like, let's
lovely country.
Have a bit of a drink up in Qatar. Oh no, we can't.
Well, anyway, I'm going to ask you very quickly. What do you think of the United States? Because we're getting there, scriptwriter. You wrote this question. I'm going to ask it on Twitch. You asked this.
Brilliant.
At crowd member 101.
Yes.
How do you think of the United States of America? Because we also like to think of ourselves in football, admittedly for different reasons than Wales, that we also are chip on the shoulder underdogs. Football is also the only thing in the world where we are essentially not seen as a superpower.
No, I know it's a bit of a dichotomy because you kind of, I think as a Welshman, you look at the United States and it's the enormity of it, and you kind of think, well, surely, just a numbers game alone, you're going to do far better than we will. So it's straight.
Only 330 million people.
I know. Sure, you can surely put a decent squad together with someone over 25 years old. Yes, but it's odd. It's odd having that conversation with an American where they go, well, we slightly feel like the underdog, and we go, no, I'm the underdog. No, I am. No, we are. We're bigger underdogs. We're smaller underdogs. So it's a strange concept for me to grapple with, and I don't think that's just a matter of time for the US when they certainly won't be. And I think as an opening game against the US, I'm excited by it. I think it's going to be a great matchup.
So, what is success? What are you hoping for, and what do you think is going to happen? That's 3 seconds. What is success? Question number 1. What do you hope for, and what do you think is going to happen?
I've been criticized for saying this, but I sincerely mean it. In Wales at this time, there's just this euphoric sense sweeping through the country because we've made it, and a number of us have been asked to give messages to the squad and to the team, and a lot saying, go out there and make us proud. And I can't escape this feeling that I am already so incredibly proud of them and what they've achieved. So, to me, we're already successful. To me, that was incredibly successful. Just beating England would be euphoria.
But I know not a lot of people know this about you, but you used to, Matthew, share an apartment with Michael Sheen.
Yeah.
He of the unbelievable pre-match Welsh hype speeches.
Yeah.
I like to imagine the two of you just walking around the apartment together, just delivering theoretical pump-up speeches for World Cups you both thought would never, ever happen.
Not just World Cups. Any given topic at any given moment, they'd be like, there's a red mist dripping down a bathroom wall. You're like, shut up, I'm trying to sleep.
Matthew, you're never going to win an Oscar, says Michael Sheen.
No, that's why I leave the speeches to him.
I want to know, if you were invited, and I know you've been given the opportunity to give your public support to your boys, you know, like the great Welsh people, Anthony Hopkins. Let's hear it for Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yes, good old Kath.
Kath, let's give it for Zeta-Jones. Sounds like an Arsenal Academy product. But if you were invited into that locker room, how can you boo Zeta-Jones? I just say, if you boo Zeta-Jones, you're tired of life, my friend.
Yes. That's what I've got tattooed on my ass. Yeah.
But if you were given the opportunity to wander into that Welsh locker room before that English game and speak to your boys, the floor is yours. What would you say to them?
Look, you can't top Sheeny's speech. Have you ever seen Moby Dick with Gregory Peck?
I've only seen Moby Dick with Captain Ahab.
Right. So Gregory Peck plays Ahab, and there's this great moment where he walks up with a gold doubloon, a gold coin, and he nails it to the mast, and he goes, the gold coin goes to the man who spots the white whale first. So if I walked into the Welsh changing room, I would take a large gold coin with me. I would nail it to the wall, and I say, the gold coin goes to the man who brings me the first testicle from Harry Kane's scrotum.
And they'll be like, does that come with an Xbox?
Yeah, that'll come with an Xbox.
Oh, by the way, Tyler Adams is going to get a gold doubloon.
Love a doubloon.
Rhys, I want to raise this to you, your family. May your son and your future generations experience Wales in a World Cup as totally, totally normal. Make great memories. Let's hear it from Matthew, Rhys, and courage.
Cheers.
Great, Matthew. Enjoyed it.
Let's hear it from Matthew, Rhys.
Page 31.
Davo, we are living in days of miracle and wonder. We're also living in days of chaos and human darkness. And I will say, one of the joys of the bloke who is about to take the stage with us is that he can laugh through the tears. And I know I'm not alone in finding his television show, his analysis, his cautions, the equivalent of the lines from a song which, as a Liverpool obsessive, he knows so well. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of a storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver song of a lark. And ahead of the World Cup, in which the nations of the two passports that he holds that we know of, America and England, collide. It's a joy to welcome to this stage one of my single greatest favorite human beings in the world. Let's have a huge welcome for Mr. John Oliver.
Rog,
Little off script.
Rog, you more than anyone should know that lark is pronounced lark.
I was just trying to translate it for the American parlance. I just wanted to know, there was not, when we did rehearsals, I started crying when I read those lines out.
Yeah.
And it's like, you cannot be married in the Liverpool region.
No, it's a city's national anthem, isn't it?
You cannot. There's so many memories of awful drunk uncles falling over at the vodka luge to that song playing. And it is gorgeous to see you, Davo. Do the honors, you beautiful human being.
Yes, John Oliver, it is good to see you. And your legs, your first full-length appearance on Men in Blazers.
And yet you've blocked them off, haven't you?
Yeah, but you walked in. We saw them when you walked in. I like fine
Look
legs.
at those
Leg day.
pins.
Fine legs.
Like a Sabutio figure torn off the base.
So the Qatar World Cup is finally upon us. We will discuss it from a footballing perspective and from the perspective of the geopolitical quagmire, to say the least, that FIFA has created with its choice, with cash and envelopes, of host. But first of all, you've often said on our show just how powerful the memories a World Cup can create. So what are your earliest World Cup memories?
Well, the first World Cup I decided to watch I decided, like I had that level of autonomy.
Yeah.
Mom,
There's
Dad,
no free will.
I've
There is
made
no
a
free
decision.
will.
Was Mexico 86. That's right. Mexico 86 was the first one that became like a formulating my personality. And for my birthday that year, I had 2 presents. I wanted an Edam cheese, a whole Edam cheese.
The whole sphere?
Whole thing.
The whole sphere?
2 round presents. I wanted an Edam cheese and I wanted that Adidas Azteca football.
Wow.
And so I remember, my only main memory of birthdays in general, but particularly that birthday, was getting up in the morning, seeing 2 badly wrapped round presents and thinking, it's fucking happening.
It's coming
I've
home!
willed this into existence. The secret hasn't been written yet, but I'm living it.
Yeah.
They're both so round.
You looked at that Edam cheese, you're like, it's not a book.
Oh, it was
And we have talked before. Football's Edam's coming home. We've talked before.
Hashtag ad. I'm paid by the good people at Edam. You seem to be paid by literally everybody else.
We're just paid, ultimately, we're just paid by Iron Robbins Edam brand to bring up Edam stories, and we didn't know how to do it. We didn't bring John up. Authentic Edam stories with John Oliver. But we've talked about something that we both share, not just us, but to be candid, millions of football fans from around the world. This tournament, the World Cup, it forms the spine to your life. Honestly, it's how you tell time.
Of course, absolutely it does. And that's what's so odd, isn't it? The kind of internal body clock for World Cups you have is off now, right? Because it's not supposed to be happening now. We're supposed to have a longer runway to this. World Cup wall chart time is not November, is it? So, yeah, it's very difficult. This slow-moving car crash, finally, impact is upon us. This 12-year-long, completely avoidable calamity is now here, and we're all supposed to find a way to emotionally deal with the thing we've looked forward to so much that was both taken away from us and is still there. It's very difficult. But of course, it is. That's the thing. It should be Panini stickers, World Cup World Chart, football in the garden with your Azteca football.
And your Edam cheese.
And your Edam cheese, which is a lot to get through, you realise, at 9 years old. Actually, this was a bad idea.
By the way, it's an Edam cheese made of death.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's not going to please the people at Edam who are sponsoring John's appearance here tonight.
All they said was, don't conflate us with a bloodbath. I don't know how you'd get there, but Rog seems a little off this evening. He's a little punchy. Qatar is the Edam cheese of death, you're right. As is the Edam cheese if you're lactose intolerant, to be honest.
Okay.
By the way, when we grew up in England, lactose intolerance wasn't even invented.
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't a
It
thing.
wasn't.
Still isn't.
We just farted a lot.
Yeah, that's right.
Not many people had cheese. Let's face it. Football is, in our modern reality, though, the most universal cultural currency that there is. There's nothing that compares in terms of global consumption to soccer. It makes it all the harder, therefore, to stomach that this crown jewel of a tournament, this Copa das Copas, has been paid for literally with bags of cash in manila envelopes. When you take a bag of cash and you put it into a manila envelope, that's something. To deliver a massive PR coup for Qatar, you came on our show 2 seasons ago and talked about just how hard it is to stomach that reality with the human rights abuses, the enormous death toll of foreign workers. This World Cup, which is meant to be a joy, it feels more than very dark. When it was awarded to Qatar all those years ago in 2010, we honestly never thought it would actually happen.
Yeah.
But on the eve of its madness, how has your thinking developed and grown in terms of your mental approach as you prepare to watch it?
Well, it was incredible, wasn't it? 'Cause you're not supposed to announce 2 World Cups at the same time.
Yeah.
And they announced 2 really bad ones.
Yeah.
And then there was that sense of, they do understand Qatar in the summer is physically impossible, right? And there was that sense of, no, if you dream it, you can do it.
Yeah.
And there was that, do you remember that plan with like the floating clouds?
Yes.
They said,
Yes.
we're gonna
Remote
air
controls.
Yeah,
Remote
remote controls, that's right.
That won't work. Oh, the remote control. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, even I, who believe everything, did not believe
Yeah.
that the floating clouds would cool down Qatar.
Yeah, and so then there's the inevitable move to November and the chaos that causes football around the world. So yeah, all of this seemed that it's the conflation of both inevitable and completely avoidable. That's what's so frustrating about it, to have this thing that was always going to be built on blood and bones because there weren't enough stadiums there. Wales could have had it, but they have too many functional stadiums, apparently.
Yeah.
So this was all, and to watch the kind of attempted rewriting in history of real time from FIFA now is so maddening. To have Infantino saying in that interview, when was that, when he said, the thing is, like, if you give people work, even hard work, dignity comes with that. I think even the Egyptians didn't say that with the fucking pyramids. That is a level of darkness that's almost impressive.
Yeah.
So, like, to not be in a swivel chair stroking a hairless cat as you're saying something like that feels like an omission.
I mean, what it's created, this craven decision, is a surreally soulless World Cup in Qatar, a fire festival of a World Cup. And I did tell FIFA, it's a bad mistake to make Ja Rule organise the whole thing. I did warn them. But this is, just to be clear,
that accommodation looks Fire Festival-esque. Those kind of storage containers that they're going to put fans in, that's going to work really well.
I went to the Fire Festival, bite your arm off for the Fire Festival right now, but the knock on it, it's damaged the entire game of football, right, this?
Yeah, that's the saddest thing about it, isn't it? Is that it's something that you look forward to for so long. And it's poisoned, not just now, but it's kind of been poisoned for 12 years. So it's, in a sense, it's going to be nice to have it over, if I thought that FIFA was ever going to fundamentally change. Because if and when they get away with this, the only lesson they'll learn is, we can do absolutely anything. We can put it on the moon. We'll just have a little oxygen cloud over the top you can remote control. It'll be okay.
Great idea. I will say, as a television producer, as a rule in the biz, it's never a good sign when you, as the host, are having to pay all expenses trips to 50 fans from every country to attend your event in return for positive social media mentions.
Well, that's the thing with Qatar, isn't it? If the answer isn't money, they're out of answers. Can I interest you in some money? No?
Money!
Shit, honestly, no one's ever said that before. I have no plan B. Beckham was fine with it.
Yeah. Money. Money.
By the way, I do wonder if they've also paid for all expensive trips for 50 English skinheads to come over and kick the crap out of other fans to ensure that it's like a real, true-life World Cup experience.
That's truly what brings us together, is that sense. Every World Cup, we're going, what are they going to do now? Oh, they're drinking at breakfast. This is going to be bad.
At the Conquer Cafe.
Skinheads.
Yeah.
Skinheads, welcome. LGBTQ plus, not so much. But
this is a picturesque German town you have. What a shame.
You had. Here's my stein.
That is a Germanic goblet.
It is. It's a surprise.
It's quite heavy. I got to tell you, I don't quite have the core strength to lift it, but it gives me tremendous joy. As a Jewish person, to lift the stein is always...
You are the definition of a bad Jew right now.
No, it's a triumphant Jew. It's like, we're still here, you bastards. Well, it is. And by bastards, I'm like... I'm not talking about Jurgen Klinsmann, but for the footballers...
Or any Jurgen.
Well, good Stein. For the footballers, this is what I think, they are put in a terrible, terrible position. Yeah. They have dreamed, we've all dreamed of playing a World Cup since we were kids. They've actually made it. And, you know, these are footballers who tell us what clothes to wear, what sports cars to lust after, what haircuts to have. I've got a Pep Guardiola. But
That is a decent Pep. Have you got a ripped trousers as well, or no?
I'm wearing them underneath because it's a bit sad. But about historically important things, they don't tend to say so much. And although that's changed a little, Raheem Sterling bravely taking on racism, Becky Sauerbrunn and the US women equal pay, Marcus Rashford, child food insecurity. The Qatar issue for footballers, the complexity, the geopolitics, the fact that stars like Messi, Neymar, Mbappe are employed by Qatari-owned Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
You know, it is complicated. It's wheels within wheels. And there have been some positive signs, the Denmark protest jerseys, the Australian protest video. Knowing what you know about footballers, John Oliver, you just answered the question.
Yeah.
What do you think we should expect?
It's very difficult, isn't it? Because you don't want to give them a complete pass, but it's not their fault. This is FIFA's fault. That's the original sin is FIFA's here, and it was complete. So you have taken this from them as well. So it's very difficult. I see it more as playing with the house's money. When you have low expectations of footballers, whenever they speak out, it is impressive because, you know, there is potentially a cost to that. So hearing Eriksson talk was very impressive. It's just... It's a horrible position for them to be put in. This has been tarnished for them as well.
Let's face it, though, FIFA has done what FIFA does, what they do really well.
FIFA going to do what FIFA going to do.
They love the answer money. They love the question money.
They do.
Love all those things.
That's right. Money inflection up, money inflection down.
As a Jeopardy producer, I appreciate that in many ways.
That's right.
They have doubled down on the wrong thing.
They are based in Switzerland geographically and morally as well.
They've also arrogantly written to all the players, telling them not to speak.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course. How do you understand how this sport, which allows us all to feel such transcendent feelings, also attracts some of the worst human beings in the world to oversee it, stroking their cats without any checks or balances? I have a question. Why don't good people run for football jobs?
Football jobs or own football teams? That's right. It's just a relentless...
Any football job.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know, but it is spectacular. The balls, the Azteca footballs that it takes for Infantino to claim any kind of credit in terms of reforms that happened in Qatar, to tell footballers that they need to be quiet, to literally shut up and dribble. It's absolutely infuriating to hear this coming out of his mouth. And for him, was it yesterday in front of today in front of G20, right?
G20.
So, saying, let's use this as a ceasefire. Like, oh, you are a piece of shit. You are an irredeemable monster. Because you can't have it both ways. You can't either be, listen, we are nothing, we're just an emblem, or we change the world. Which is it, Johnny?
Well, I do believe that. I've thought about this a lot because last week, if you don't know, Johnny told a letter to every footballer saying, football's not about change. We can't solve every problem. Well, just shut up. And then this week said to the G20, let's have a ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia. Johnny, who essentially received the Medal of Freedom from Vladimir Putin in 2018, which he's refused to return. I wonder what motivated him to do that in front of the G20. And then when I watched it, the hypocrisy, the horror, I realized in this moment, this is really the Sam Bankman-Fried of World Cups. it really is. And I think my greatest hope for change, because you've said we can't think, oh, FIFA's going to reform itself. We always say that. But it's the Streisand effect. I think the Streisand effect is the only thing that's going to save it. For Qatar, I mean, I've got to be candid. I'll be honest about myself. I'll talk in the eye. I was not talking about the kafala system. I was not talking about the death of foreign workers en masse. I was not talking about the plight of human rights in the Gulf. And I feel like now many of us are. And it's only that backfire that may stop the rumours of Saudi Arabia going after the 2030 World Cup, John.
If I can just pour some water on your uncharacteristic optimism there.
Yeah. Here.
Ahead of Russia, there was a lot of... I can't believe I'm getting to play negative cop to you, Rog. What is happening?
High five!
I'm in a very dark place now. Ahead of the Russia World Cup, there was a lot of talk about human rights. There was a lot of talk about what he was doing to gay people in Russia at the time. And when that first whistle goes, it gets washed away. And the memory, he knows this. That's what he learned from the World Cup, from the Winter Olympics. He learned the fact that people have their frustrations washed away. You let them get it out, and then you get on with it, and the memories. So the question is not what happens before the first whistle, it's what happens after that. Now is, in a sense, the easier time to talk.
So
it's harder to talk during
Let's talk about this, because I was there, and I resent, and I regret, and I hate myself.
You hated yourself before
Exactly.
and
Thank
after
you.
that trip, Rog.
Thank you.
Your self-loathing is
Thank you.
borderline
Had
anti-Semitic.
nothing to do with Russia.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with Russia.
He didn't put that self-hatred in your heart. He
Yeah.
couldn't. It was
Yeah.
full.
My
Your
kid-
tankard was full.
I'm going to tell you, my kids are here. Love yourself. I do want you to know that you're not wrong. I do want you to know. Here's what I think. Like, I went with my producer, J-Dubs, who was at the back, and we ran around. Producer J-Dubs, let's hear it for that man. That guy is, God has worked. Oof. We went to Russia, went to Moscow. We reported back, and we're like, this is, I've been to Moscow before. I realized the place was gussied up. We actually, to be fair to us, it was surreal to me. I thought there's something off here.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird. It was so gussied up. It was just like everyone was beautiful. Everybody who looked like me had been ushered out and sent to Siberia. But every journalist did make Russia look unbelievable in that moment. And I'm aware retrospectively we did Putin's propaganda in reporting out the game we love. And I feel sick to my core about this. And I feel that we are going to do it again. I'm aware of your argument that once Lionel Messi takes the field and does his thing, once Neymar, once, Connor Cody. Once Connor Cody takes the field, the world is going to be like, we are anaesthetized.
Of course.
Qatar is football. So here's what I want to know. I do keep thinking, what can a single player in this moment do? Muhammad Ali, we can think of the John Carlos, the Billie Jean King. So be they Spanish, be they German, God bless you, Leon Goretzka, be they English, American, the night before their game, they're looking out the hotel window with the lights in the Rubel Cali desert expanse below, agonizing about what they should do. What do you suggest, John?
First, I love your projection of that level of introspection on professional football players.
Yeah.
The idea that Harry
Jordan
Kane
Henderson.
is looking out at the desert thinking, we are just dust in the wind of history, aren't we, guys? At the end of the day, end of, guys.
End of.
It's ephemeral, isn't it, life?
Yeah.
You stand for everything or you stand for nothing. As I like to get up and watch the sunset every day. It grounds me, Harry Kane.
By the way, it's like the worst cover version of Part Life ever.
I don't know. I think they've got to they have to do their job now, right? There'll be a lot of talk beforehand. They'll do their job during it. They will find ways, they or the various organisations will find ways to try and contextualise the horror of what is happening. I think it's really once it's in the rearview mirror that you want to remain clear about what just happened. And what just happened cannot have been, as I worry was the case after Russia, saying, well, that was a great tournament, wasn't it? And that is true with a monumental caveat. And that caveat was that it shouldn't have happened in the first place. This one should be more easy to understand. It's an outlier because the World Cup's going to be finished and then it's going to be fucking Christmas, which feels very strange.
By the way, any footballer listening to this tomorrow in their team camps, I think you should celebrate any goal you score by running to your teammates and kissing them full on the mouth.
Yes, that's a good idea.
That's an idea. Let love rule.
I was so inspired by the sunset.
That's right.
That I ran up and I kissed Connor Cody full on the mouth. I don't know what got into me.
I scored a goal that Harry Kane do, a routine penalty into the right corner. and then I looked over at Declan Rice and it was like everything went into slow motion.
Yeah.
I tenderly took him by the back of the head and I pulled him close to me.
Yeah.
Our eyes locked. It was like the sun was setting, but I knew it wasn't because I knew what time the game was.
And I felt an enormous sense of self-being.
I love it. We're shipping a relationship post-penalty between Harry Kane and Declan Rice. This is why we watch World Cups.
And here's the terrible thing. If that happened, I would completely forget where that tournament was held. Oh, yeah, 22. That was that amazing homoerotic moment after that.
Yeah. So, like we said at the top, we would talk about both sides of the split screen that is the World Cup. We've discussed, we can't even call it the geopolitics. We've got to talk about, it's just the awful horror of this World Cup. But there have already, no football's even been kicked yet. No Edam has even been kicked. And we've already had some truly beautiful moments from football itself. The Uruguayan roster announcement video
that was
brought
great.
a tear to all of our eyes.
Great.
I don't know if you know this, I'm actually not Uruguayan, but the prospect of Canada returning to compete for the first time since
It's
1986.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Wales,
Yes.
the first time, as you just discussed, first time since 1958. All of it truly magnificent. What are you most looking forward to, if you can just separate everything else, if you can for a moment, from the football?
Yeah.
What are you most looking forward to in this World Cup, John?
I mean, you've mentioned some good ones there. It'll be great to see Canada there.
Yeah.
It'll be great to see Wales there. I'm just going to work around the room and pander to each person. It'll be great to see.
Senegal,
I want to say
Denmark.
Qatar.
I hope Qatar lose all their games. That would feel like something. I hope Messi plays well because it feels like this will be the end. I hope Ronaldo plays really badly because he deserves it. I really hope he has a moment of realization of, oh no, I'm getting worse at this now. He won't. He won't. He's incapable of
Or
it.
people are like, God, I look good.
But yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It's the
How do they select these 25 other pricks?
I hope it's a terrible experience for him. That would be nice. So yeah, so it doesn't speak very highly of me that some of the things I'm looking forward to the most are the miserable experiences of others. But you know, in for a penny.
Yay, football. And it's time to talk about England, John. And when you and I were kids, the English national team, semi-finalists at the last World Cup. Guys, we came here to listen to John, not to boo England, who cannot hear you. I don't know if you know this. I say the England team are not listening on Twitch right now.
Harry Kane's too busy making out with Declan Rice right
That's
now.
right. Declan, do you hear them talking? I feel seen. How about you? I just want to get out of West Ham, Harry, and I'll do whatever it takes.
By the way, Jordan Pickford's still up, but he's just playing Call of Duty for the 14th hour. And
oh, definitely. That man has perennial I was up too late playing video games eyes.
Yep.
He's energetic in all the wrong ways.
Yep, he's like, my arms aren't too short for the joystick, motherfucker. But I actually know that from experience. That was not like imagining.
Yeah.
But your England team, semi-finalists last World Cup, finalists at the Euros last summer, and when we were kids, they were the polar opposite. You know, they would boast about going to win it all on the 7-inch single they release, and then they would utterly, completely crap the bed, self-sabotaging. And this England team, they're even likeable, which is perhaps the most astonishing achievement of all. What do you make of them and their prospects?
I just hope, I mean, obviously their prospects are pretty good. You know, like many teams, pretty good. No kind of better than that, but pretty good. They've got some excellent players, and they seem to play well as a team, and like you say, some decent human beings, which is a nice change. But I think what I really want from it is because, like, to go back to your early point, that it's such a special thing, a World Cup. You don't get many of them. What you want England to do is at least play well during the World Cups that have been the most miserable to me are when it's just inhibited, negative football. 2010, they were so bad. I remember when Beckham scored that penalty against Tunisia? They played so badly, and that was the first time I'd seen an England goal in a World Cup and felt nothing. And that's what, oh, this is a problem. So I hope they play expressive football and that it's played with a sense of enjoyment and it's not that classic thing with England that they get terrified. The idea of mistakes just become too much of a weight to carry, and you're left with kind of a relatively joyless experience in one of the most joyful moments, supposedly, of your life.
Good old missionary position football, Davey.
Yeah, the England squad, a good balance of youth and experience informed players, and also Harry Maguire. There's a lot of attacking possibility in there. The surprise pick, James Maddison.
Yes.
The kind of creative maverick
Yeah,
English
that'd be great.
teams really unleash. He's a bit like Mike the Situation, if Mike the Situation was good at football.
He is a little bit like that. He has got situation vibes about it, doesn't he? I was going to say, actually, the other thing, if it's going to be miserable, it should at least be sporadically funny. I was in Rustenburg for that Robert Greene mistake against the USA, and even
funny.
in that moment,
Hilarious.
I appreciate slapstick, and that's, my friends, is slapstick.
Yeah.
That was a Chaplin-esque way to turn an entire country against you. But yeah, I guess that would be nice as well, to if there's some surprise packages. I'd love Maddison to have a nice... It feels like he's more than earned that. That would be great. Yeah.
What do you make of manager Gareth Southgate, a man who was originally just on a solo crusade to bring waistcoats back?
Yes.
Turn...
Didn't do a terrible job of it.
No, my God,
Yeah.
I've got to tell you, I remember wearing one throughout our tour in 2018, well, once in Boston when they lost. And the English media last summer hailed him as the last sensible grown-up left in Britain. The press pack there, the knives are sharpening. Steve Coogan once said, and I love this, if you give an Englishman the choice between his own success and your failure, he'll choose your failure every time.
That's it. That's literally what I've just demonstrated by saying, I just want Ronaldo to be unhappy. What else is happening?
But is that...
It's true.
Is that about Southgate? This man has helped England soar semi-final, final. I mean, do we now? Is that the only thing that's left for us? We have to cut this man down to size.
It's the only thing we can win.
Yeah. It feels like the halo that he had dimmed pretty quickly. And I think the problem is the English fans have pretty short memories, right? So if this World Cup's a disaster, he will be a terrible human being again, and people will be burning waistcoats in the streets. They might have to do that anyway for warmth because of how the cost of living crisis is happening.
Fair.
That sounds like an amazing Smith song. It's like burn waistcoats on the street. That man's got a halo. Let's smash his head in with that halo.
But he's also been put in an impossible position. It's because he has spoken out on social issues, to his credit in the past. He's now backed into an absolutely thankless position where he has to be a figurehead for a tournament that he knows shouldn't, and it shouldn't have happened. That's why I think, in a sense, it would be more helpful if more people spoke up around him. I think it's been helpful for Klopp to speak out, even ahead of it, for other managers just to take some of the weight and say, everyone knows this is appalling.
Sam Allardyce, if you're listening, get on it. You're England are playing Wales and Iran, and you're also playing, I don't know if you know this, John, because only 27 people have shot it out while you're talking about England. They're playing the United States of America.
Yeah.
And you see us through both ends of the telescope. You understand how English football fans see the United States. You also see just how badly we in America yearn for glory on a football field. I mean, let's be honest, a soccer field is like one of the few places left on earth where we can't tell ourselves to ourselves that we are a superpower. It's almost as if other nations love lording it up over us.
I think that's definitely true. I think that's the thing. We've talked about this before. I remember growing up watching America at the Olympics, and it was just like that. It was just so miserable watching America win everything all the time. The sense of kind of slightly justified entitlement of, I think we're going to win gold, silver, and bronze here. Yeah. And growing up, my nightmare was America winning a World Cup, because it just felt like, can the rest of the planet have one thing that you can't have, and also, importantly, not have a hope of having? The hope probably is gone now, because it's plausible. It feels like, for the first time in my life, it is plausible that America could win a World Cup. It's not your... No. It won't mean enough if you win it now. You need to have, conservatively, 40 years of pain and unremitting heartbreak. Then, and only then, can you even consider winning a World Cup. It won't mean enough. It'll just be another thing you've won,
Yeah.
not catching an actual whale that after a coin's been nailed into the side. No, do you think that? Yeah, exactly. I didn't think we were going to come up with quite so much Captain Ahab material.
Yeah, a lot.
But that book would have been less good if he'd just thrown his fishing line overboard, caught the whale, and went, "Oh, this is exactly what I wanted." Anyway, how does this feel, guys? Not enough. The yearning, the pain is what leads you to it.
Jesus Ferreira caught the whale, Davo. Talk about our boys.
So, what do you make of this US team? Greg Berhalter, the coach, a gent who's established himself more for his sneakers, bounce passes, jogs through populated downtown areas than his tactical nous. Christian Pulisic, a clear talent, struggling though at Chelsea, seen as a squad player in England really, but over here viewed as the LeBron James of soccer.
Yeah, the LeBron James now. That's the problem.
That was like, woo, hang on the rim.
Oh my God.
The LeBron James now
That's the
of soccer.
The beauty of football is not just in its ability to bind people together, it's to completely change the atmosphere of a room in half a second.
Oh my God. We got Brendan, who's Bronny Aronson.
Oh, yeah.
In every regard.
American boy.
I did, yeah, God bless. I did interview an English Premier League player recently. It was not Harry Kane. And I asked him what he thought of the United States Challenge, just a throwaway question interview. And he said, this is the quote, he goes, "Nothing really." and I was like, as a follow-up, because I didn't like to come with a hard-hitting follow-up, so I said, "Can you name an American player?" And he said, he thought for a minute, and he goes, "Clint Dempsey?" Does he still play for them? And I was like, in that moment, I was like, holy crap, John, we get absolutely zero respect.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, for America, I do think it is going to be too early, partly because you haven't hurt enough for this to win a World Cup yet, but also that this team is young and very, very talented, but very, very raw. I do think they're young in exactly the right way, talented in exactly the right way, and the next World Cup, they could be dangerous, especially given where it is. The only thing there will be how can they play under that kind of pressure when you're a team in like 4 or 5 years' time, which is a legitimate contender. That's going to be a lot of pressure to have here.
I can't wait for that World Cup. Qatar will be defending champions. We're gonna F them up big time,
That's right.
David.
Finally, back in America, a country that's never committed any human rights abuses. Ever.
Finally. I've spent the last 12 years trying to deconstruct the pronouns and nationality and England and US fandom of my partner in pod, Roger Bennett. Still very confusing. Last World Cup Tour 2018, cried, burst into tears like a baby after England lost in that semi-final.
It's sad for my dad.
Yeah, maybe, partly.
I'm always sad for my dad.
For you, though, November 25th, when the two teams clash, Harry Kane and Declan Rice's England and their perfect union against Christian Pulisic's United States. You're a passport holder of both nations.
Yes.
You have an American partner, American kids. Describe what you will feel and how the rooting interest will go in your household and for you personally.
Beauty is, in a group stage, you can root for 2 teams to go up. 3, I would also like to see Wales go up, but
anything is possible at a World Cup in Qatar.
You would reach for the US passport first, right?
I've got
US over England.
You're looking at me like I've got one simple rule in life, John, that when Piers Morgan is on one side of an argument,
God, that's a good...
He says he's Irish.
Always just position
Irish.
yourself as far away as you can on the other.
Yeah. And yet he says he cheers for Ireland. It's very confusing.
It feels reductive, but it's not the worst.
Yes.
It's not the worst moral compass to live your life by, is it? What would Piers do? Okay, I'll do the opposite of that. It's not bad.
Yeah.
WWPD.
We could build a world religion that can live for eons off that. What wouldn't peers do? Okay, that.
This definitely will be the first time in my life that I'm not actively rooting against America, which is a huge step for me. I've come a long way. So yeah, I'll be rooting for both teams. If I had to choose one to win, it would be England because it's been disappointed for 50 years. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry.
David, can we get to prediction time?
Prediction time.
Yes.
How will England do? How will the United States do? What's going to happen in that group at World Cup 2022, that group and beyond?
You think Wales are going up? I would. God, it's hard to root against Wales, isn't it? US Wales going up, but hold on a second. Where does that leave England?
It's not rooting, though. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen?
I think England will draw 2 and win 1 and go up playing quite disappointing football and then flame out in the next round.
Yeah, last 16.
If history be the judge. And I think, what do you mean? I think the US should go up, but honestly, yeah, you should. You should. But if Wales get rolling, you do not want to be underneath those wheels, believe me.
I knew it was a mistake to invite Matthew Rhys on this bloody show, Davo. John Oliver, I need to ask you this one. It's a quick one. Will the United States men win a World Cup in our lifetime?
God, it's amazing. I swear, 4 years ago, I'd have said absolutely no way. And I think they've got a legitimate shot at the next World Cup, just not this one.
Agreed.
It's amazing to
Agreed.
say.
Totally agreed.
It's hard to get across just what a shift that is from thinking, I would have definitely said it is just not possible. There's not the respect for the game here. There's not the depth of talent.
Agreed.
The depth of talent here is, for this squad, is really impressive.
Yeah.
It could be even better. They have. I can't believe I'm saying this. They've got a real chance next World Cup.
Yeah.
And this one, no chance.
Can we just hear that? No chance this World Cup, but we're going to win the next one.
Yeah. Embrace the pain.
By the way,
Embrace the pain now and use it as fuel for your eventual victory fire.
I was totally prepared to do a Ted Williams and put my head in a cryogenic chamber and then only re-emerge when we won the World Cup in 3027. But last one for you, John Oliver. A lot rested on that question. Can I get a wish from you? This is a World Cup of darkness. Please, God, with some moments of great football transcendence, a moment of a modicum of light, what do you hope to see in the course of the next 4 weeks?
Again, not to belabor the point, and I'm disappointed with myself that this is where my head's going straight away. I would like to see Ronaldo take a ball to the groin. And I want to see that moment where the blood drains from your face and you realise, he feels slightly nauseous, doesn't he? And he keeps wanting to touch them to check that they're there. And I'd love him to miss a penalty, because that's his fault and his fault alone.
Yeah.
And I'd like him to fall over.
I love this.
A lot.
A lot. Yeah, a lot.
By the way, the ball to the down belows looks like it will come from Bruno Fernandes in the
That's
pre-game
true.
warm-up.
Honestly, it's already been good. If he's continually blanked by his teammates, oh man, this is going to be the best World Cup ever. Thank you, Qatar. You did it mid-season. Only you could pull this off.
I've got to say, only you, John Oliver, can pluck the most moral of life lessons and life truths from the most immoral of World Cups, in which Qatar are going to realize we only spent 200 billion to bribe our way to running this bad boy. A couple of billion more in sweet bribe money should get us at least to the semi-finals. Only you can be like, that is going to make me a happy man, and that is why you are such a special human being.
Ronaldo is the Qatar World Cup of human beings.
Oh my God, when you say those words, I will never wear Dracar Noir again in the same way.
Coming up on the Piers Morgan Show next week, Qatar!
It's a joy. It really is. I've got to tell you, only you. I am feeling, I don't know if you can tell, quite, yes, thank you. By the way, when I need to be reminded of my Yiddish roots, I used to hang out with Johnny Oliver. I am feeling verklempt about this World Cup. It's the greatest night of my life. It feels like it's in a shadow of darkness. You have created a slither of joy, not just for me, but everyone watching this, both here in the theatre and on Twitch at home at this moment in time. To you, John Oliver, and your terrible taste in national teams. New York, let's hear it for Mr. John Oliver.
Oh, Roger.
John Oliver! Do you think he can play number 9 with his US passport? I'm asking for a friend whose name contains 3 G's, David.
What a man, what a night. The World Cup is upon us, Rogelio. We're about to go and raise a glass at All Stars Sports Bar and Grill. That's at 327 West 57th Street, 57th between 8th and 9th. Come and raise a bud or 7 with both of us. I do want to say just how much we have loved being with you tonight. The World Cup, this World Cup, so surreal. It's arrived here out of nowhere, as John Oliver said. The teams have almost no time to train together or practice. We fans have almost no time to mentally prepare, and tonight has really felt like the beginning of something. This is the end of the show, but really just the beginning, because over the next 5 weeks, we will play 9 more shows in 9 more cities, 9 Twitch watch-alongs during games, and a podcast almost every single day with special guests like Tommy Vitor, Tyler Adams, Hurt Gomez, Rory Smith, and so many more. Rog may not sleep between now and then, the end of the tournament. I'm not sure it's going to happen. With that, can we get a final toast, Rogelio?
I want to raise this shot of Jägermeister, this spot of human emotion in a shot glass, to the United States of America. Oh, boys, Christian, Tyler, Weston, Brendan, Gio, Anthony, Tim Ree, Matty Turner, and the rest. We are living in incredible days. The Men's World Cup is headed back here to NAFTA in 2026. An event which is going to put football over the top in this nation, as it was originally meant to do in 1994. And instead of being an overnight success, we've witnessed it almost being slow and steady, the growth, World Cup to World Cup. And we are on the cusp, fan-wise, being what we've always dreamed of, what we've yearned for, of America becoming a normal footballing nation. And for this World Cup, I spoke to my mate Rory Smith this week, and he told me there's a stereotype which surrounds American football players in Europe. He said they're seen as good, solid players, solid citizens, not troublemakers, not particularly good. But if we make noise in this World Cup, we can make sure our dreams catch up with reality. And if we don't, that cliche will be reinforced. Those are the stakes for another cycle. And I raise this shot to optimism, to positivity. Let's clear our minds of the static, the doubt, the bounce passes. Let's look for a World Cup, open eyes, hopes for change, love, and empathy. And as you know, I just taped a podcast with Brendan Hunt, Coach Beard on Ted Lasso. We relived every World Cup in the US that has been played. And Brendan's words, I want to end with those. Those are the things I'm going to channel when our boys take the field at the Albight Stadium. He said, we are a young nation, still figuring it out, being represented by a young team who are still figuring their football out. A young team that looks like this country. And when this country is not at its most unified, this is a group of guys who look like us, represent us in a world they're imbued of hope. They may get a shock result. Maybe the dream could be something that unifies this country a little bit more. And I just want to raise a glass to this moment and this time with you. Big love to each of you. Let's get ready to make World Cup memories together. And courage!